It's a running joke on America's comedy shows, pretending we're all colorblind.
Now, I don't see race. People tell me I'm white, and I believe them because I belong to an all-white country club. But
Dave Chappelle gets laughs playing a blind white supremacist, unaware of his own color.
Black power!
So we gather a panel of women, 3 African Americans, 3 whites, mothers, college professors, journalists, to try to talk about the truth, agreeing right away, of course, among the first things we notice about each other are gender and race, and that's fine. So we're on to the first question.
If you're white and you
Do a lot of white Americans feel they're being tested by black Americans, having to watch every word lest they be accused of racism? For instance, I ask, what if I said something really insensitive and boneheaded?
It would be my responsibility to say to you, Diane, that's a racist remark, and I'm offended by it, so don't do that again.
But Glenda, are we quick to say, oh, that was a racist remark?
Right, how can I ever talk again? If you think that that actually sounded like a racist remark?
Less likely to say racist versus offensive. That was just offensive, period.
We all agree we have to give each other the benefit of the doubt. We also agree that there is a tendency to feel more comfortable around people who look like we do. Is that discrimination?
Mitzi, I think you said it's not a black-white issue, it's a green issue.
It's a green issue because there's a lot of free thought when you're young and you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of obligations. But as you get older, the people that you're really comfortable around are the people in your same economic bracket. And race comes into play because balancing, say, a black person's ability to make that much money versus a white person's ability to make that much money.
Coming from the younger generation, you know, I'm 25 years old, and I think that continually going over the same issues of there's not enough education or there's not enough opportunity for black people, I just think that we need to start covering issues that are going to kind of go above that, so that we're not continually going over it.
Why we're here today is there are still terrible racial inequities in the United States in almost every domain you look at. Health, mental health, physical health, in education levels, in income levels. White Americans are privileged over others.
Rebecca Bigler is a psychology professor who says we're uncomfortable largely because we don't often sit down and talk openly about questions of race. Yet look at the study about our children. It shows 80% of them by 5 years old know that all of our presidents are white. A third of them think it's against the law for a black person to be president. Bigler says white families in particular shy away from talking about race, and that's a disservice.
It's what black parents have been doing. So white parents need to talk about race with their kids, but specifically they have to educate them about racism, and this is tricky.
So what should families say to their kids?
What you say is people have a tendency to like their own groups better. And you can say to kids, but that's something that's probably wrong, that people who are different from you, who speak a different language, they are more interesting.
I think it's critical. Because because if we don't, we will drift farther and farther away. Schools will again become segregated schools. You know, communities will become that way.
And it's not just a social obligation to talk straight to each other. Studies show we actually need each other to be our best. A white jury was tested on remembering evidence. Then a black jury was tested on the same thing. And guess what? Neither of those two groups did as well as the racially mixed jury. We're better when we see the world together.
So take your children to diverse places. It's hard. It might make us uncomfortable, but it'll be an adventure, and we'll learn something. We'll have to model that.
When you say that uncomfortable, and I know people are home going, but does it have to be uncomfortable? Is it always going to be uncomfortable? Is it okay for it to be uncomfortable?
It's okay. It's okay.
Because that's when you grow. That's when you grow.